Hello, Gophers. You're listening to Go Podcast. I'm Dominic St-Pierre.
And I am Morten.
And you are listening to that show, but you are not joining the Slack channels, and we would like to have you there. Strangely enough, I was looking at the Apple Podcast listing. I think the ratings from the early beginnings are not there anymore. So it's kind of sad in a sense because there's no rating at the moment. And we look at the stats. So there is people that are listening to us. So please take just 1 second and just click the rating buttons on whatever the tool that you're using to listen. It will help very much. I mean, it does do a huge difference. I don't know how to say that, but yeah. Definitely. Morten, what is going on with you? I had some problem this week myself. I don't know if we want to go there, but Podman, Redis, my VPS. I don't know what's going on. It's at a certain point. Well, first of all, the VPS is kind of getting old, so I'm always at this point, and I just started without hearing what you were saying. How are you, man?
No, I think it's fine. I'm good. It sounds like you need a tool to manage your VPSs, right? But
yeah, that's a good point. I mostly need to talk about it because that was I don't know. Yeah, that's what I like about platform as a service, but the fact that you are kind of freeing yourself, but on the other end, I don't like to be locked in. So I do like to own my own VPS, but at some point, it always comes up to, well, first of all, the OS gets out of date after 5 years. Let's say this famous 5 years time frame. So what do you do? It's not like I want to update the OS on that VPS. I would way much prefer to move to something else. Because now I started to have a lot of errors in my log files regarding Redis, and I was like, wow, this is interesting. So Redis is installed in Podman, and I run it in network mode. So from what I understand in my very, very limited knowledge of all of those containerization things, is that there's no bridge. There's nothing between my service and what is running inside Podman. When you are running in network, I don't recall the host mode. So basically, there should not be any kind of boundaries or whatever it is called in the network world between my service and the container running in Podman. And I keep getting pops up connection drop. So let's say each 10 minutes there's a log entry in my error files, and I don't know what to do now. I will probably have to install it locally and see if I still continue to have this. I don't know how to debug that, to be frank. This is what I'm trying to say now. Maybe it's the Go package that I'm using, which might be out of sync, and this kind of opened a nice conversation about how do you keep all your dependencies? It's a chore to look at everything that you have. So that's why the Go community is always like bullish about. Are you really needing a third-party library? Because at some point, I don't know, man. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's a bug. Maybe I should update. But I always think that I don't know. It was working before, so why how can the code can I've changed if I haven't updated this third party dependencies? But so this is where I am, and I discovered this very nice small Montreal based company that they do have this Reddit sub and seems to be extremely like human and. I don't know. They are there. They talk with their customers. Very small company. A small company. Let's say I don't have numbers and whatnot, but their price seems to be very interesting compared to DigitalOcean, which where I am at the moment. I'm very very tempted to jump ship.
So
first of all, it would clean up the VPS, right?
Yeah. So it is a VPS provider or Redis provider?
Oh no, it's a VPS provider. So it's a small company. It's a small company that started as a SaaS, interestingly enough, and their SaaS failed. But at some point, I don't recall exactly the year, but I think it was like 2012 that they launched something, and they were searching for a Montreal-based hosting provider. They did not want to host their data in a US providers. So they searched and they decided to rent a co-location in Montreal directly. So they bought this gigantesque real server and whatnot. And at some point they started once their SaaS failed. They were getting a lot of traction with the blog posts that they were telling what they were doing in terms of hosting their server and whatnot. And now they bought a couple of more servers, and now they started to host people in there and whatnot. So it grew to what it is today, which I don't know exactly what it is, but. You keep telling me about this Germany-based company, which I don't recall the name.
Hessner?
Yeah. So I don't know what is the size of that company, but it's probably not that size. But I'm talking about the same kind of place. It seems probably like you can I don't know. You can talk with the same people, over and over. They seems to be like, I don't know, under 30 person there in the company.
That's nice.
Yeah, but they have a great uptime because it's all on Reddit. So I mean, I don't know. It just feel human. Yeah, let's just say human. They just seems to be there. They just seems to care about what they are doing as well, and I like that a lot. So yeah, but changing server is such a huge investment of time, and there is so many things that can go wrong. It's it's always a stressful moment for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. But it goes a little bit back to what we talked about last week with like competitive advantages that you can have as a smaller company, right? Like the human-facing aspect of it is not something to be necessarily to be dismissed as not relevant, because there's definitely, I think, appetite for that sort of thing in this space. I know about some other people from Denmark who also wanted to do like this kind of EU-based server renting space, right? I don't know if they actually succeeded with it, but yeah, having people that you can actually talk to and they care instead of, how big do you need to go? Who's like at AWS before they want to talk to you is probably. $10-20 million in spend per year, and you get your, like, I had a client once that where we were working with a huge US media company where we had our own AWS representative, but I mean the spend on just development was like, there was enough to pay one developer, per month, and they were like, yeah, fine. Yeah. So So you need to get up to a huge scale before they want to talk to you. So yeah, but that sounds cool. But I get it's probably a little bit scary also when so the logs doesn't say anything about the error, like why Redis is failing.
Oh yeah, it's a pub sub that keeps the connection keeps reset because it's not able it get dirty or something like that. I don't recall exactly the message, but it's directly it seems like the TCP connection seems to be maybe in a state that either the server or the client does not like, and now the connection is just reset. It's not like, you know, I'm not losing anything, and it's just kind of a small TCP reset. But I need to fix that because it's occurring each 10 minutes and whatnot. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's also like when running your own servers, that it's nice up until this point where you have this server and you need to figure out how to debug it, right? And you need to set up a lot of things. Like open telemetry and all of those kind of like Grafana dashboards and like all of these things to really be able to dig into what is actually happening underneath the hood, right? So yeah, it's it's one of the costs of like running it yourself, but also how long you've been running this server, right? So it's like you're running for like 5 years, and it's only now that you're starting to see.
It's probably a good run, to be frank.
It's a good return on investment, right? And if you look at what you would have paid for like a managed server, you could probably just copy what you have one-to-one on another server and start it up, and then you would have, I don't know, put a load balancer in front and then slowly divert traffic over maybe, and that would still be a lot cheaper than running it in the managed servers.
Absolutely.
I always try to when I have clients and they are maybe new in the space, where it's like, what game are you playing? Because most of them are playing the VC game. I'm like, you don't need to worry about this in the VC game. You are literally here to spend money and grow. That's the game you're playing, right? So in those cases, I'm always like, just use managed services. Yes, it's gonna cost a lot of money, but this is the game you have chosen to play, right? And the other, where you try to actually build a profitable business that is bootstrap, is another game that you play where these things are relevant, because the cost economics have to make sense in a way that don't really need to with the VC game, right? So yeah, but of course it's hard to debug when you actually get into these
it's not a huge problem. Usually I don't really mind. Basically I have most of my services run under system D anyway. So I always I'm not even using journal CTL to read. This tool is not really accessible with a screen reader. So I kind of redirect the std out and std error of all my services to a file anyway. So it's pretty simple. Again, as gophers, we tend to prefer simple approach, simple solution. So I'm just writing to this good old file that I do have on all my services directory. So all my all my services are deployed directly in this home folder of an app user that I have, and there's the Go server there and the std out, std error. Very, very easy to debug. So. For me, it's just like it's what I prefer to do. It's what I've been doing for a long time. When I worked for like 20-ish years as a consultant after being an employee at a small company in Quebec, and they were hosting their server locally for a long time. I think we migrated to cloud in 2022, which is crazy when you think about that. Before that, it was still on premise. So it was not only handling servers, but it was like hardware as well and things like that. But that was fun. I'm missing that a lot. It was so. I built a custom CRM in that company, and when you have the database and the application servers and whatnot, and in the same room where your users are as well, in the same building, it's crazy the amount of data that you can pass in one query, if you will. So the UI, and when we went to cloud, of course we did how they call that, the lift and shift. Basically, you take your local infra, and you put that into the cloud. Same services, same database, everything. But now the clients are in one place. The servers are. Now you need to do round trip to the internet to grab. And now the CRM screen that was loading so many data locally in milliseconds now start to take seconds, and the users are crying. So long story short, I mean, to me, this is all where the fun is. To be frank, I like that, but of course, when there's something that happens like that, I don't really understand why suddenly this Redis, maybe it's Podman, maybe it's something in the networking, whatnot. I will still just install Redis in the server directly, just to prove if I keep having those errors, it means that it's probably the Go package for some reason, which would not make any sense. Maybe there were an update that I missed. I don't know what I could have done, but I don't know. But that's also my static backend project where I just revived it. So maybe I should have been more careful with the dependencies. It was archived for more than 1 year. 16 months is a long time without upgrading any kind of dependencies. I need to do that. There's so many things to do. It's crazy. I feel like I'm all right. So connection drops.
Yeah.
Maybe it was time for me to give you the mic now. It was a message saying, "Oh, you know what, Dominic, you are speaking way too much this morning."
Yeah, no, I because as like always in this apartment building, there is construction work being made, so I'm constantly trying to mute whenever it's running. They are sawing or drilling again. I don't know. Anyways, I clicked the wrong button. Yeah. So where did we end up?
Well, yeah. Long story short, I will install Redis and see if it's the Go package dependencies. So
yeah. Okay. Well, heavy bug hunting. It's always
yeah. Oh yeah.
Interesting to go. Yeah. Cool. For my week last week, I went back to basics. I went back to coding like a caveman again, using my fingers and my brain to write out code instead of pressing the magic button in the LLM. And last Friday, as of recording here, it was so nice. It was like a week where I was like, I felt behind, but also felt like, I was actually productive, and the product is better, and I understand what I've done, I understand what needs to get done, right? And I still use the LLM to discuss implementations with, but I wrote everything into the editor, and I checked it and caught a lot of things as well. So that was very, very nice experience to have again, where I was like, I understand what's going on now to a much deeper degree than just doing the code review. So I think that was my biggest thing last week, actually getting back to writing code by hand, and also discovered a lot of, because I'm integrating heavily with DataStar and discovering a lot of patterns I can standardize for my web framework as well by building out the UI elements, and how can I how can I make this easier to work with in the framework? So yeah, overall last week was nice. Amazing. It felt like, oh, this is actually a fun again.
Yeah. What was it like? Let's say, so I guess you started like what, Monday last week? Or yeah. I guess that day was probably extremely disturbing / abysmal, and I'll call it what you want, but was it that bad that the first day? How it went? When in the week you had this realization that, oh wow, I'm having fun now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was all like probably Monday or Tuesday. It was where I was like, oh yeah, this is nice again. This is because like I've been for a couple of months now. I've been on the smaller plan, so I had still been writing code by hand, but had still been feeling the pressure of getting something out, so letting it cook for longer and then reviewing the code. And so I've been in an in-between state for a long period of time. I think if I had the max plan, I would been like everyone else on tech Twitter, just yellowing out tokens. So it was nice to just be like, okay, don't do that anymore. Just write the code again, and then use the LLM for sparring. Hey, did I miss anything? Is there anything here? I don't know if this is a saying that translates to English, but in Danish we say like holes in the cheese. Are there any holes in the cheese?
Yeah.
Right. So I felt the pressure of not getting enough done, because you can get a lot more done, but the things you get done is not.
Exactly. But I feel like this feeling of knowing that if you were to use the LLM, you would output more things. It seems to be something that ones would need to counter at some point, because it must be real at first. I'm having difficulties at the moment because I don't know what's going on with Entropic and whatnot. It's barely usable at the moment for me.
Yeah,
and I'm like, wow, I'm reaching limits just asking a small thing on the UI. Frankly, I don't want to do UI anymore myself. It's for me. It's like, wow, this cannot not work. I don't want to do that. But that's a different problem. But just knowing that you could do more is difficult to I don't know, to not think anymore.
Yeah. But I've seen the discourse more and more as well, where people are like, okay, this is unreliable in the current state. They can't work, and we've talked about it a lot as well here on this podcast, where it's like they can't scale out quickly enough. And I still remember when 4.5 came out last year around springtime, I think, and they also introduced their subscription plans, and it was amazing. It was honestly, that was like a wow feeling, because they didn't have to do all of these things that they have to do now to A, keep up with demand, and B, make it profitable, right? Like in there, they were just like, hey, you do you, here's the model, go nuts. Yeah. And it was crazy. It was really, really good. But I think now we're seeing the cracks in the foundation, where, okay, there is something called economy and money, and everything needs to work out, right? So you're definitely starting to see that. So I canceled my subscription to Anthropic 2 weeks ago, I think. So I still have 2 weeks left, and then I'm gonna be doing the Chinese models like Kimi and GLM, I think, for the sparring and for the smaller, like is there any small issues here, blah blah blah, those kind of things, right? Because they are still affordable on the API layer, so you don't need to switch, and you can kind of just find the ones that are not overloaded. But I'm gonna stick to the old way of doing things. Because the project rate has been a lot more. I think it's a lot better now, because it's really good to run fast and explore paths. So I still think you can use it for that, right? But when it's not is like it's overloaded all the time, so you can't even access it. They do all these weird things that they then deny. It's like, oh, we don't we don't turn down the knobs of the model to make it worse. And then there was a company who created an issue saying like, hey, we have, I can't remember, 7 million log lines or something like that, where we can prove that you actually nerfed the models and you made them worse. You decreased thinking and everything. So we can see it's getting worse. We need to get back to how it was before. And they're like, oh, we don't do that. And you know, so it's like this. I still believe for these things to be feasible, the thing needs to get down to a size where you can run them locally. Run them locally, and then have the business model be around that. You know, like just as we had. I remember when I went from VS Code back in the days to JetBrains. That was like wow, like crazy experience, right? And we still buy licenses to JetBrains. So why can't we have like? Of course, the models need to change. We need to get down to a level where you can run them on hardware that you can have access to instead of just having this. Like you can have a server farm or a GPU farm in your apartment. That would probably not work that well, right? So, yeah, I don't know. My biggest
Wait. Okay, that's good. We will continue this, but now wait. You are using JetBrains editor?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh.
I am strictly on neovim.
Okay.
But I went like VS Code, JetBrains, and then. I lived in Berlin for some time, and that was one of my coworkers who got me onto neovim, and then I got into the Primagens videos and TJ video, and then I was Linux and neovim built from that day. But I used to be on JetBrains. Yeah.
How was it? How was it to go from from VS Code or JetBrains to neovim? So you never used Vim before, right?
No, I didn't use. I mean, I always been exploratory with computers, so I did play around with servers from when I started learning to program. So I was familiar with Vim and Nano. Yeah, it's Vim and Nano that runs natively on servers. Yeah, so I was familiar with it, but the mental model of shifting away from not using the mouse that took a few times, like a few weeks, right? But after that, it just becomes natural, right? Like I have a plugin installed now in my browser, so I can navigate sites using Vim motions.
Nice.
And I still feel myself like also on other devices like trying to use Vim motions. I expect like I can do like fuzzy search and fuzzy finding and all those kind of things. I do the same thing on my phone. I search for things, so it's kind of overtakes your whole mindset at one point if you let it, and then I think it becomes very effective to work in that way.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's definitely it's a step you need to get into, but it's also just one day throw away your mouse, and stick to it, and then you get, and then it becomes fun. There was DHH, the guy behind Rails, where he talked about, he also got into it last year, 2 years ago, something like that, where he was like, you get to do like cool combos in your programming environment, and that is really true. Like, how can I be more efficient in deleting this line? And also actually, it got my passion for programming started again. Mm-hmm. In a weird way, where it was like, this is really fun to just, it makes writing fun in a way as well, where you can kind of try to do these combo statements and quick and produce more text faster, right? Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Vim isn't accessible, unfortunately. That's so sad. I've dabbled myself into creating my own text editor at some point. I mean, I would love to use it. I used it in the past, but since using a screen reader, it's not working very well.
No.
Yeah, it's sad. But what do you want to do? Oh, that's cool. Okay, cool. I did not knew that you were a neovim user. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. All neovim, no more editor. There's also when people like I talk AI and editors with people, they're always like, "Oh, try cursor," and I did try cursor just to test it out. And I was like, "No,
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's potentially better or not." I would say the only thing I'm bummed about with not using cursor is they have really fast. What's it called? Suggestions. Is suggestions the right word? Because it's AI generated suggestions. It's basically what GitHub Copilot is, but fast, like very fast. And that used to be a plugin, Super Maven. It's called. They bought Super Maven, and then they were like, "Oh, we are still gonna maintain and everything," and they didn't do shit for like since they got bought, right? So that's the only thing I really miss, because that was actually quite nice to get like those fast suggestions, because they was quite on point, and you're still like in the driving seat in a way.
So I don't like it myself, but maybe again, it's maybe really related to accessibility and whatnot. When I'm on the editor, I need to fully control what's going on. So I cannot have too many things that are pre-filled for me and whatnot.
Yeah,
it's a different world when you're using a screen reader, for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine it must be. But I guess also like you need to text out and then get the feedback loop. So the feedback loop becomes writing and then response, or
exactly. I don't when some screen reader user, when they type characters, it's saying something. I don't myself. So it's not something that I'm able to accept, or at least it's very hard. It's too noisy. So I type. It's harder a little bit, but I don't know. It's how I've always worked as well. So
yeah. But also saying it must be, I don't know if confusing is the right word, because whenever when I started streaming, I would hear the audio from the stream in my headphones, and then I would hear myself talk with a delay, and I couldn't. My brain just turned off as soon as I started hearing myself talk, So I can imagine that would be like, you really need some adjustment if you are able to do that. But
totally.
Prefaces and everything, right?
Not only that, but just think of pairing. I cannot pair anymore. I cannot share screen. I cannot really talk with someone while the screen reader is talking. So that to me, and yeah. So this takes a lot of your focus. This takes a lot of your energy. So you cannot really talk to someone. Well, me, I cannot talk to anyone else while I'm trying to concentrate on what the screen reader is saying. Yeah.
Can you choose the voice?
What?
Can you choose the voice that is reading to?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a couple of nice voice. That's why my setup is pretty simple. I use Windows because the accessibility is way better. My screen reader is only Windows, but everything else is on the WSL. So I do not do anything on Windows. My browser is on Windows. VS Code is installed on Windows, but I always start it in the Windows subsystem. So that's something that I have a lot of difficulties. I installed Fedora a couple of months ago. The screen reader is not bad. It's good. The GNOME the GNOME desktop environment as this Orca screen reader, very nice. But the voice, man, I have so much difficulties. I don't know it. I cannot put it as quick as my Windows screen reader. So now I'm losing a lot of time. So yeah,
it's still like robotic.
Well, yeah, it's very robotic. On Windows, on Linux, it's basically eSpeak by default. I don't know if you ever heard of eSpeak. It's it's a tool that just takes phonetics basically and just try to output something. But so it's not really. There's a lot of blind people that do like this robotic things at the end of the day, because you can go very, very, very fast with it.
I was just wondering, because like the OpenAI also introduced like their voice models, and maybe they like got integrated into those kind of things, so you can hear like Morgan Freeman or something talking back the code. It's just like, I was just wondering, with all the AI stuff, if the space was still kind of like robotic voices, or it was
the voice that they have. I installed a voice. I don't recall exactly the package, but it was I think it was something that people were using with LLMs. The problem with that is that you cannot change the speed. So it sounds very, very nice. It was even better than my voice on Windows, but the speed was abysmal. It was very, very slow. When you have a screen reader, you need it to be fast, because you have so many things to hear. Just imagine just reading code. So I need to stay. My cursor needs to stay where I'm typing. I need to. So yourself, you want to see what was going on. A couple of lines above, you just look at it. Me, I need to. I need to use a virtual cursor now to read the line above, and things like that. And sometimes it needs to be fast, because the amount of data that you're receiving is crazy. At the audio level. So
yeah, I bet it, because my wife is from Chile, and in South America, voice messages are so popular, and it's so not popular in Denmark. So in the beginning, she would like just talk to me for like 5 minutes in a voice message, and I was like, this is so inefficient. So I would hear at like 2.x speed or something, and then when I got halfway through the message, I forgot the first thing she said. So I had to hear it like 5 times.
Yeah. No. It's a huge it's a huge learning curve. People cannot really start to believe what the amount of audio input that you're receiving in a day. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. But unfortunately, neovim for me is not an option. I know that there is a plugin for Vim and what is the Emacs. So there's a plugin for Emacs called Emacs Speak that is very, very nice. But I mean, Emacs is a totally different beast. I'm not very, very good in Vim, but I could work. I could start to work easily, because I've been using it for a long time. Not as a daily driver, but still, But yeah, this is that, and it goes for the same. Helix is the same, not accessible. Zed is definitely not accessible. It's using GPUs to do the rendering and whatnot. It's very sad that the terminal editor option are not accessible by default. It's not good.
Yeah,
I'm stuck with VS Code, man. What do you want to do? But I never use a mouse. I cannot use my mouse, and so I'm kind of quick in a sense, because I know all the shortcuts. So I never use my mouse. Even when before I was using a screen reader, I was not using a mouse. So. But there's just so much that you can do. But anyway, I cannot really go faster than my screen reader anyway. So
no,
yeah, that's my blocker at the moment.
Oh wow, different world.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, this is very hard. This is very hard. Where we were, so yeah, we start talking about text editor. So yeah, Helix is something that. Have you looked at it? It's built on Rust. It's like it's using like the Vim motion, but maybe a little bit reverse. I think with Vim you do have the verb after the fact or something like that. Helix goes the other way or something like that. I don't know. It seems to be.
Yeah, I tried it out. I think I did try it out, but it's all like I have for the last 2 years. I've only been using neovim, I think. But I had a period where I tried out everything. I also think I tried out sets when that came out. So I always end up going back to neovim because the things are so like the muscle memories are so ingrained into my system. Like I also tried out Omachi, DSH's Linux distribution, whatever you want to call it, and he has his own key bindings, and I couldn't. Like it was just like frustrating to try and to get it back to what I was used to. So I tried Helix, and I remember it looked quite cool, and the same thing with Set also seemed cool, but in the end I was just like, I also tried with VS Code and installing neovim my Vim key bindings and JetBrains, all those kind of things. So definitely some cool options, but it's once you've seen the light.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's very hard to go back, right? But yeah, Helix that seems like a cool.
So have you tried? Have you started with with the the quick start config file that there is nowadays with your neovim, or you started from scratch and you built yourself your config file?
I think I basically do what the Primeagen does. I'm pretty sure. So there was it was his videos I saw in the beginning plus my coworker. So there's probably some overlap there. And I basically built out my own from those two. So I have tried some of the starters. I know TJ Teach has some quick starts that I have tried. But it's basically my own key bindings that is just where I've taken little bits of pieces from those early days, and those have kind of just stuck in a way. So I don't use there's also lazy Vim where it comes pre-configured with a lot of opinions. A great tool. I don't necessarily like using it again because muscle memory. So it's basically just my own little custom binding, and they just released version 0.12, which introduced its own package manager. So before, a lot of people were using lazy Vim's package manager, and now in V012 it has its own. So I rewrote.
So it's built in neovim now.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you just point it at
crazy
at a repository. So most of it is on GitHub. So you just point it to the GitHub repository, and then you can you just run lua vim.pack.install, I think it is, and then it installs it, and it has a .log file associated with it, so you can update and keep it track. So right now is my config is just one init.lua file of 300 lines, and that's it, which is really, really cool because also LSPs are very natively supported right now. So of course you need to I need to point it at my Go PLS, Go Please, whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. I use some Tailwind stuff, so I have Bun run that, but it's very you don't really need a lot of plugins anymore, which is quite nice. You can make it crazy, right? If you really want to nerd, and I'm just now I need LSP, I need fuzzy finding and fuzzy search, and then I'm basically good. And then I need a lot of themes. I love switching color themes. That's probably one of my biggest.
Okay.
Guilty pleasures.
Depends how you feel.
yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And also, I'm on PubOS's new Cosmic, they've been working on it for a while now, where they also let you kind of theme the workspace that you have, so you can just download color themes to your computer and then apply that color theme to the rest of the OS, which is quite nice. Yeah. But yeah, I think the quick ones are good to get started, and then you explore out. You end up with your own little thing in the end. Personal software, which is what Teach those guys are really big on. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's time I retry. But the problem is that when you're navigating with GKL, whatever, HJ, the screen reader does not follow the cursor in that sense. It follows the arrow keys. So because the cursor at the end of the day is just a visual thing. It's not at all something that exists in the screen reader point of view or whatnot. It does not know at all where it is. So yeah, from what I heard, the terminal is not very friendly in terms of accessibility. So the screen reader needs to build an internal memory of all the lines that there is and keeps where the cursor is, and it just move with your arrow keys. So that is one problem, but it's not the only problem. So when you do a column and you want to type something, the screen reader does not follow that at all. So there's a lot of problem.
Couldn't they solve, and maybe I'm talking out of my ears here, but couldn't they solve this with three-sitter? So that, I don't know exactly, but if you build up like an internal representation of the tree, and then couldn't you, whenever you navigate to a new word, like must be able to hook up something that can read out that thing, like just as you go like JK, you go start, end, so you read the start or the end or whatever. And then,
maybe, but that would need to be some kind of plugins probably, or something like that is outputting something to the screen reader. So that could be something. I don't know.
I think you just need like Claude code, make no mistakes, and you are there.
Yeah, I don't know. I have lost a lot of faith in this. I started in October. I keep saying that. It went up until recently, and now I'm returning where I was at first. I'm like, this is not working very well. So I don't know. But again, I'm still pretty fast. I'm still pretty fast with VS Code. I would be surprised to. I would be surprised to hear that I can go faster because with the there is a ton of keyboard shortcut that I have. So again, I'm not using my mouse, so it's decently fast. The editor itself is slow as shit. That is the real problem. That is what I would like to switch to neovim, for example, because I don't have a huge machine, and VS Code is such it's eating a lot of RAMs and whatnot. I mean, it's not performant as an editor, right?
Yeah. No. Maybe it's very hungry and yeah. I'm not a fan. All right.
Oh yeah, well, okay, cool. That was it was interesting. It was not planned, but as we discovered things from each other, it's nice to. Text editor is such an interesting topic. I found it's where people can get very, very angry and very excited at the moment.
Yeah. They're always like see what Mike can do and what yours can do, and it's like, oh, but Mike can do this, We still need multiple cursor thing. I missed that, but I think it's coming in 0.13 in neovim, so you can have VS Code used to probably still have like this thing where you can create multiple cursors and write and they are, I believe is coming in 0.13 to neovim, so that's gonna be very cool.
It's crazy that they are still at 0 though, the version. It's interesting.
Yeah, they're working towards like a 1.0, and I've looked at the roadmap. I don't know if they're definitely working towards a 1.0, right? But I'm also like the whole thing when you start to put that 1.0, you have to adhere to it. And I'm like last week I talked about adding hooks into Andorra, my web framework, and I think I've ended up at like a really nice place, right? But I kind of need to break the contract. It's still 1.0 beta. Yeah. It's not like it's like a gazillion people using it. I can probably do customer support for all the ones using it. But that's probably also the worry that you don't want to break the contracts. It has
that's why the version 0 exists.
Yeah.
Did you release? You're not at 1.0, right?
It's at 1.0 beta 3. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
But the thing, what I really wanted to do was, like we talked, like getting. What I started to notice with the way I do model development in Anduril was like it's very functional based. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of like copy pasting the same like can for deploy quit, the whole like who can access with server and with applications, and I was continuing like copy pasting that like can access function, right? And it was fine. But then I also started to like you start to add validation in, and then kind of like it was just scattered in the same place where you have to copy paste, which is okay. But I would just love to have like an interface. I have an interface right now called can validate, can access, and can modify, and just implement that one time for the model, and then that is where the logic lives. That was what I was kind of missing. So I'm kind of ended at this run function where it will check for these kind of things. So it's something that you can adapt gradually. If I end up going with it, I'm going to have to rewrite some of my model functions in deploy crate to test it out if this is the path I want to go with. So I'm not technically breaking the contract. I'm just going to be like, if this comes in, the path going forward would generate models with this like life cycle function is probably the better word.
Okay.
But then you have like before and after. If you want to do anything there, you have the access policies, you have the validation centralized, which I think is gonna be nicer than having to say if error, can access, blah 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 for all the functions, because I think it's easy to forget them if you don't centralize it in a way, right? So, but I mean, as this project grows, I'm learning a lot of things, and so far it's held up decently. There are things I wanna tag on, especially on the UI side with DataStar and how I work with views and all of those kind of things. But it's mainly extensions that doesn't really break the contract. So. I think I'm in good shape. I'm gonna get these things in. I'm gonna get Windows support in, and then I'm gonna release a release candidate.
Yeah.
and then see where we go from there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
very cool.
Hopefully soon we'll have a proper V1 out of the door.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, but for now, yeah, it's been a lot of writing by hand, so it goes slower, but it goes in the right direction faster, I think.
Interesting.
Now. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, totally. I mean, have you felt? We will close with that. And have you felt some skills that left you, or some speed, typing speed? Anything that you are regaining now, that you are remarking or seeing now that you said that was gone, or that was less?
I think the mental picture of the code base is now starting to re-emerge in my mind a lot easier than it, because I had this point where I was like, am I just getting old because I can't remember shit about anything anymore?
Interesting.
Interesting. And now I'm like, yeah, like I was just, because you get like these huge like you can create them as big as you want, right? But like say 500 lines of LLM generated PR, and I would review it, and it was just like I can't remember anything.
Yeah,
you know. And now I've been like, I have a server creation and configuration flow where I provision the server, we configure it, and then you have like an application with some environments, create, set up, all these kind of things. Reworking them by hand is now I have everything in my head.
Yeah.
A lot faster. Whereas, even though I reviewed all of the code that the LLM had written for those parts, I just I had to go back and forth. I forget function names. Like all of those things was just in and out of my brain super fast. And now it's like, oh yeah, I remember. Like this is here and this is that name. So I think that's the biggest thing.
There's nothing like typing it yourself to lodge it somewhere in your brain and just access it when you need it. You just typed it at some point, so it must do a difference compared to just reading it from a PR, for example.
Yeah.
Plus when it's the LLM, it's not your function name, it's not your variable names, it's not the logic like you would have typed it yourself or think about it yourself and things like that. So
100%. And even though Go is a simple language and there's kind of only one way to write it, I think the LLMs have somehow found a fourth way to write Go that I'm not necessarily down
with. That's dirty.
It's like I have a deployment flow in deploy grade. I'm going to revisit again soon. And I've just skimmed it through a few times. I'm like, what are you doing? What is all of these interaction? Like, why do you have a build function here for something? And like, just pass it, It's like, this is such a simple language. How can you, death by 1,000 paper cuts. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not capable of reasoning. Whatever people are saying or people that are using that a lot, when you used it for real, you just realize that, okay, man, it's just not able. It's not what we were sold. It's not what the companies are trying to sell it. It's not what it is at all. It's not what they are saying. I'm sorry, it's not good. It's not reasoning. Yeah. It's not reasoning at all.
And also with like Anthropic going out with their new model Mythos, I can't remember how you pronounce it. And their Project Glasswing, which they are not giving it out to the public because the model is too dangerous, and it found like bugs or something in FFmpeg, and I can't remember the other. It was like it found some old bugs that has been there for 20 years or something, and they were like, "Oh, look at how dangerous this is. We can't release it." But OpenAI said the same fucking thing about GPT-2. I don't think anyone would look at GPT-2 now and be like, oh, this is definitely going to cause the downfall of civilization if you give people access to ChatGPT-2, It's just the same playbook over and over and over. And we have we work with internal companies to validate it and make sure these bugs are fixed. But also all the companies on this list are either investors and stakeholders. So like, but we choose them randomly. And it's okay. I'm tired. I have like this. I did a meme. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired of this, and I don't believe it anymore. You're just, it's a scam. I know it's probably not a scam, but
he said it.
Yeah,
but that's true. I'm with you on that. Morten, I kind of I think we will end here because I don't recall since the call dropped. I don't know how much time we have at the moment. So
I think we are around an hour now. It was like
that's fine.
Yeah, so
cool.
Yeah, all right. Nice.
All right. So have a good week, and we talk next week.
Yeah. See you, man. All right.
Bye.